Blog Talk Radio.
Good morning. It's Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter. It's Monday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, and that translates into No BS Job Search Advice Radio. This is a show where I try to talk with you in very candid and direct ways about how to make your job search a lot easier. Because to me, job hunting doesn't have to be difficult. It doesn't have to be painful. And for many of you, it doesn't have to go on for all that long. You know, despite what you're hearing about in the press, there are people finding work pretty quickly. And they're getting good job offers. And yes, they may have skills different than yours, but I can assure you that there are people with similar backgrounds to theirs that they're beating out for jobs. So, you know, it's really very simple. You're making mistakes. You got to fix the mistakes. You got to figure out what they are and then fix them, I should say. But your goal is to find work as fast as possible. It's going to help you feel better. So today's show is brought to you by consultingassignments.com. Consultingassignments.com is a site that is focused on the consulting business. So if you're trying to find or fill a consulting assignment, a temp position, a full-time consulting job, contract to hire, temp to perm situation, anywhere in the world, you can post a job listing for free. You can post and search for resumes for free. If you want to feature your jobs, $10 for 30 days, and they've recently introduced a series of levels of positions, levels of job packets, where if you want to feature lots of jobs or just a few, they'll discount from $10 to as low as $2 per listing. And that's just for the features. And again, if you want to list for free, you can. So again, that site is consultingassignments.com. So today's show is going to talk with you about mistakes that you make in managing your career. Because, frankly, what most people do is lurch from job to job at times where they need a job, or they've decided that the work that they're doing isn't satisfying anymore. So instead of focusing on some of the job search skills at this time, I'm going to talk with you a little bit about the mistakes you may be making as part of your search. Because, again, part of what I do is correct mistakes. So the first mistake I think that most people make is they don't really think big picture. And by that I mean you're so focused on doing your job well, or hating your job for that matter, that you don't really think big picture. So do you really have an idea of what you want to accomplish in your career? Do you tell yourself that you want to be an executive but never figure out or find out what it takes to accomplish your goals? Do you know what the steps are to really get to where you want to be? Have you spoken to people who are already in that role about what they did and the price that they paid to get there? So you got to think big picture in order to start off this process. And most people never take the time to do that. Another mistake people make, this is the second one on my list of 10 things you may be doing wrong as part of managing your career, is never really implementing your ideas. So, for example, you may find out what it takes to achieve the goals that you've set out for yourself in your career, but you do nothing to accomplish them. You know, for myself, and I'll give myself as an example, for years I had great ideas. I never followed through on them. So eventually I pushed myself hard to start blogging about the job market. And I started to do that in August 2001. And that led to the idea of doing an e-zine, an e-magazine on a regular basis. But the big thing for me was writing my first book. Now, to understand writing a book is not an easy venture, but I wanted to do one for 10 years before that. And I thought you had to sit down with a legal pad in those days. And remember, we're in the 1990s as I'm thinking about this, or even the 1980s, I think I had my first idea of doing it. And I just couldn't get myself to follow through on it. It was taking too much time. And until I learned a better model for doing it, this is just a pipe dream. No sooner did I finish my first book than my second one was completed. And at this point, if you go onto Amazon and you search by my name, you'll see close to 100 titles in all sorts of areas that I've written. They're not just all full-length books, but many of them are short guides to different parts of job hunting, cooking, because I happen to like to cook, playing different games, how to use your Kindle or Nook better. So it broke a log jam for me. And you know what? I'm making money from doing it. So a lot of people never implement their ideas, and I want to encourage you, as part of not making that mistake, to step out and push yourself and take the risk to do it. Third thing that people never do is they don't invest in their career. Now, I know life is expensive, and especially these days, the cost of everything is going up, and salaries really aren't. But if you don't invest in yourself, frankly, it costs you more because you're going to lose opportunities. You're going to be stuck in roles that are less satisfying for you. Take classes regularly. Learn to do the things that you're not good at now, because frankly, you'll get better at them. So, push yourself to invest in your career. Fourth mistake people make is being unprepared, but badly at it. And I know we're never really completely prepared when we step into a new role, but if we do our homework, often we will succeed and have people notice how we stepped up. So, pay attention and get closer to your ultimate goal by getting yourself better prepared. Now, this one is a personal bugaboo. I have a self-interest around it, I confess. But the fifth mistake people make is being rude to recruiters. And I must say, most of the time when recruiters reach out to you, it's because you sent us a resume, put it on a job board where we found it, which to me is announcing that you're looking for a job, or because your experience may fit a position that we have available, which means more money, better opportunity, and potential for more satisfaction. And, sometimes I must tell you that, having politely reached out to someone by email or by phone, these people feel nothing, no compunction, no hesitation to berate me for just doing what they're asking me to do. Now, if you stop being interested in a job, take your resume off the job boards. It's really that simple. Pull it off. If you're in my database from a previous occasion, we've had contact before. I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm trying to help you. Be polite about it. Because after all, there may be a point in the future where you want my respect and you want my help. So, be courteous. If you're not interested, just politely say, this isn't a good time for me. I'm happy doing what I'm doing. I hope we can work together with one another in the future. It's really that simple. You don't have to just bite someone's head off and feel better from having been rude to someone. So that's the fifth mistake. The sixth one is undervaluing yourself. Now, admittedly, you may not have the same value in the same job as someone with a PhD from a particular university or someone who's worked for a particular firm that organization happens to be hot about. But I must tell you, often, the system is set up to encourage regular job changes. And for most people, when they sit in their job for 5 years, they're leaving at least $70,000 behind. Let me explain. If you stay in the firm for 5 years, and let's say you change jobs in your third and your fifth year, and earn $10,000 more with each job change, just from that, you'll earn $70,000 more in your lifetime from that, in those 5 years from that, and that doesn't take into account any raises that you've received. So Don't fall prey to what firms try to encourage, which is staying within an organization for a lengthy period of time. Manage your career and think in terms of compensation. Seventh mistake people make is they avoid public speaking. Now, I'm not talking about a person who's 21 years old who has really nothing to say. And I know I'm caricaturing here and being extreme, but that's part of what I need to do to make the point. If you're a veteran individual in your profession, I know standing in front of an audience and speaking, it can be scary, but it's just another skill. It takes practice. If you're not comfortable doing it, go to Toastmasters, attend meetings regularly near where you live, and learn how to do this skill better. Another thing people do wrong, this is number 8, is not leveraging technology to your advantage. Now, I know LinkedIn is an obvious place to build up your presence. And if you're not sure how to do that using LinkedIn, I've got a couple of guides. One is called LinkedIn Job Search Success Made Simple. Then I've got a book called Look Me Up, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and Social Networking Your Way to Job Search Success. I don't care if you buy my books. You can buy anyone's books. But think in terms of doing the sort of things that will encourage people to think of you as a go-to resource. Have you set up a WordPress blog? Have you done videos for YouTube and then posted them to your blog or to LinkedIn? They all create an impression about you as being an important person. Use it to your advantage. Number 9, not asking for what you want. I'm going to use the relationship example. So often in relationships, people think that their partner should know what they want or they feel, so they can read minds. And we eventually learn that we need to think in terms of, just telling people what we want from them. Just because we love them and they love us doesn't mean that they can read our mind. Managers are the same way. If you've got career goals in mind, make sure that they know what they are. Ask for their advice and guidance too. And it doesn't mean that you're going to get everything that you want when you want. But if they don't know what you're aiming for, they can't help you. Last thing, number 10, not taking any risks. I know this is, it may sound odd to you, but not taking risks is the riskiest thing you do. After all, trusting that someone else or some enormous company is going to wisely look after your interests and those of your family and those of your career is proven to be a losing strategy. Don't be a sheep and get taken to the slaughter. Don't make this mistake because you'll get hurt by it far more often than not. So those are my 10 mistakes that I want you to address. And from there, let's talk about some of the new positions I'm recruiting for. First one is in Old Greenwich, Connecticut. It's a software developer's role. They want a strong Perl background, experience with databases using SQL, Linux shell commands, C++. The salary is open. They will pay for relocation, but they want people with degrees from great schools. I'm sorry I ran out of time today, but I'll simply say there are more positions at jeffaltman.com. Come over to the website, search the listings, go exploring there. There's a lot of good information. There are places to post your resume. Articles I've written for No BS Job Search Advice. You can get a complimentary subscription to No BS Job Search Advice easy in there. It's a $399 value that I give away for free. There are previous shows from No BS Job Search Advice Radio that you can listen to there. There are podcasts that I do daily that include jobs I'm recruiting for, loads of tips, information about my books and guides to job hunting. No, I don't include the cooking or the game guides that I have on that site. But there's a lot of good information that's available to you. So come over to jeffaltman.com and go exploring. So this is Jeff Altman. I'll be back next Monday with more No BS Job Search Advice Radio. Hope you have a great week. Take care.